With Nigeria missing out of the World Cup coming through in US, Canada, Mexico, we are wondering the way forward for Nigerian football. And with the news coming out about John Obi Mikel vying for the Nigerian Football Federation presidency, where he is saying that he won't be involved in fraud. The news is flying around, but we hope it will turn out to be a rumor like what we saw during the Austin J.J. Okocha news about his involvement, or let's say future involvement with the Nigerian Football Federation. Welcome to Bua Community Voice, the platform that gives you the opportunity to hear and discourse, analyze everything that pertains football. In fact, the program is proudly sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. On the program today, we'll be talking about one of the Super Eagles' brightest rising stars. Yes, we're talking about the man Benjamin Frederick. He is currently injured after we got a news about his injury with his team, Addenda, where he's on loan from Brentford. And that news is so heartbreaking for all Nigerians and soccer lovers across the world because of what he's been able to do in that central defensive role. When we saw him at right back in the last game against DR Congo, a lot of persons are beginning to say that he's one of the best or first names on the list going to the African Cup of Nations coming through next month. But with the news of his injury coming through, we heard that he has been ruled out of the African Cup of Nations. So on the program today, we're talking about what his miss will be to the Super Eagles. What other options does coach? I'm talking about the man Eric Chell. I've got in that position. We look at all of the players, the ones that have been invited recently and the ones of old, the Leon Baloguns of this world. Where are they? Is the likes of Chusteko going to stand in and all of that? So all you need to do is to sit tight, relax, and pay attention, because we'll make sure that we crack it all open on all of the possibilities, because we felt like we've got that defensive line sorted out with Ola Aino recovering from injury. We have Calvin Bassey and rest of that squad at that back line. But that news is one of the most heartbreaking, and we are expecting that things will go in our favor, because I can tell you authoritatively that there will be more and more injury news before the tournament. Yes, that is how it is in football. Injury is very much part of football. My name is Oji of Yadu Double. I'll be doing this alone. I'm flanked by two gentlemen and a lady that will be aiding me with this analysis. Starting from my immediate right is the man Bonfrey Joe, and also the lady in the house. I'm talking about the one and only Chiwendo. It's really good to have you, and also the man Podolski.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Yes, you are a very, very wonderful addition to what we do here. Let's get into the matter. Benjamin Chiemela and Frederick. In fact, for a 20-year-old who started his football in Nigeria with ABS in 2021, moving to Nasarawa United before moving on loan to Brentford and then securing that move permanently. Didn't get the time to play for Brentford, and now with Denda, 5 appearances, just top form. I feel like at age 20, for a defender, I feel like defenders get better with age and experience. It's not one of those positions where you are at the what's the right word, where you are blessed with lots of mistakes before you can get to your best. As a forward, you can miss thousands of chances and the games can still go on. But trust me, as a defender, 1 or 2 errors, just everybody will come, will discuss you in a certain manner. So I feel like for him at 20, to be the kind of player that he is with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, making 6 appearances already, he's here to score for the team. But trust me, very good assist. We saw his abilities going forward, which I feel convinced the coach to play him at right back in our last game. He's a complete defender. And now, the AFCON would have been one of the best platforms for him to sell himself to the world, even get better deals across Europe and more in the course of the season. And now, calamity struck. He's down with injury. how much. First of all, let's even start with Frederick as a player. Do you see him in the light where I see him? Do you think he belongs to the future? Do you think that he's overrated? Do you feel like he's that man? The way everybody's screaming all around the football fraternity in Nigeria. Benjamin Frederick is headlining every story because of his absence for that team in AFCON. Do you also feel like he must be in that plane to the AFCON if not for this injury?
Yeah, well, for me, I think he should be in that outcome if not for this injury, because for him to have come as a become a substitute for the current captain, you understand? Yeah, standing in his place to play his part in that as a role in that midfield, it's a plus for him at that age. When you talk of defenders, defenders start from the age of, let's say, from 25 up. That's where you get defenders that are proving to be
Just
But presently he's in his 20s and he's doing perfectly well. That's to tell you that at that age he's still young. The agility is there. The physique and everything is working for him in his favor. So I think missing him in this Nations Cup is a big blow for Nigeria.
It's a very great blow because most of us who are his fans, me, I'm also one of his fans. I've seen what he performed when he was playing with Kevin Bassey. He's good. Why would I say he's good? Remember he was featured for Nigeria. That was last May when he came when we played Unity Cup against Jamaica. And we saw what he did. And since then, with the 5 appearances he did, even the last match that we played for Nigeria World Cup qualifying, that he put Aubameyang in his pocket.
Yeah.
He read every of his tactics. This is one of the players who can initiate attack. You can see that match even during the Osimhen goal. He was one of those people who initiated the attack, who was composed in the defense. So this is one of the players that I'll tell you that we are going to lose in this match.
Well, obviously. For a player that have come from the ranks, the under-20 team, I feel like we've agreed on this platform that players who came off the ranks, from academic football, always make like the best players for the team, even more than players who were invited from other regions, who played in different regions at cadet level. Let's talk about Benjamin.
I mean, no doubt, I won't take it away from him. He's a fantastic player. We also what he was able to achieve. Coming in to be able to take the place of Ekong, that shows that he is a very good player. But I will not give him so much credit like you guys are doing. Not because he's not an exceptional player. I believe one thing is certain, he still has a lot to learn. That game against Congo, we want to agree or we want to say that he was played out of position, but we could see that if not that the referee was more of a soft referee or a referee who do not play with cards.
A bit lenient.
A bit lenient. I've seen him officiate in all of his games. He's not that type of person that brings out card or usher in card. But he could have gotten a red card in that game because we could see that he struggled all through that game. And so that alone has been able to give me another different angle from Frederick. Frederick is a very exceptional player. I feel he would have made the list to the Nations Cup, but are we going to say that he's that exceptional? I would disagree. I feel he has something to learn. He can still learn. He can still get better. I mean, are you going to you are looking at Ekon, and you are using Frederick to compare? When we get a standard defender, a defender who is more experienced, who has everything going for him. If you look at Ekon 2 years ago and you bring a Frederick, you will not want to bench Ekon and put a Frederick there because age is now beginning to tell on Ekon. That's why it's looking like, Frederick came at the right time to replace him. But even still on stage, I still feel Frederick needs to learn. Not an exceptional for me, but he's a good player.
Okay, now that he's a regular, because we can say he's a regular because he was a starter when Nigeria needed a World Cup ticket and we had only one option, and the coach preferred him. Don't you think he's one of the best defenders in the land?
I don't think he's the best defender. Like I said,
one of the best defenders in the land.
One of the best, yes. If not for Ekon age telling on him, and then he's no longer in form like he was 2 years ago. We will not be talking about
Yeah.
starting.
But we are talking about him now because Ekong is no longer who he used to be now, so he's in the conversation. And we're talking about the man who is in conversation not going to the African Cup of Nations. Do we stand a chance? We also discussed here that we don't have a good team midfield wise creativity. And we talked about how we're not losing concentration, especially sometimes when it matters the most. And we talked about the defense being a bit leaky. We're not very sure about our right and left back. Now, there's a centre back problem. Should Ekong start? Are we looking at Simi Ajayi? Do we think about Chigozie Awaziem? I was watching him the other day for his club. Where do we run to from here when it comes to centre back? Now, we saw what happened with our representative at the CAF Champions League, Rivers United. Damian White was 3 goals to nothing in the second half, hat-trick. So you begin to wonder, do we still have defenders who can help us? Like we're talking about in the last half court, concede not up to 4 goals in the entire tournament. That's what it takes to win a tournament. Strong defense, go into games and know that you're not leaky at the back. And now one of the players that we are hoping to rely on is Benjamin Frederick, in my own opinion, because I feel like he's number one on that. It's like we know in his position there are no too many players who can keep him on the bench. That's why I talked about him playing when he mattered the most. Now, who do we run to in that defense line? Because I feel like that's a worry. And Michel knows how to scratch his head. He will be doing that right now when it comes to, and I said it loud and clear that there may be more injuries to come. Think about Anoshima linking off just before the AFCON. Are we not done? And this is not how to build a team. This is not how you can get a team that can compete. You need good players at positions, and you also need good players as replacements.
Yes.
So
I don't think Nigeria have a problem with defense. To be honest.
okay,
with you.
let me hear.
I mean, if you look at, if you're talking about for area balls, coverage, and all that, Kevin Bassey, Simi Ajayi is taller than him.
Yes.
Simi Ajayi is taller than him. Even Ekong is even taller than him.
slow.
That's why we have a Kevin Bassey. If you have a Kevin Bassey who is fast, who is fierce, who is more, if you see Simi Ajayi defense, is that kind of gentle defensive defending.
That's at right back. If you have a Simi Ajayi partner
with Kevin Bassey.
Who plays at right
Of
back?
course, Olajuwon is
Who
back.
plays at left
Who
back?
is recovering?
Sanya,
Who plays at left back?
Osayi Samuel is also there. Are you going to take it away from him?
Sensi.
So
You have Seidu Sanusi is also a good player, and Awosem is also there.
But
So I don't think we have a
He's not
problem
one of
with
the players. He's
Ekong
not
is
one of
also
the
there.
defenders we have to rely on.
the players that you've called now, I feel like they struggle to get in those crosses. And the
Yes.
crosses are what wins us
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
That is
But
where
Olajuwon is not that type of
Olajuwon is
person.
not a player that we can back on in the AFCON. He's just a cover. He's
True.
not good. See, if they put him in that plane to AFCON, that will be good. Unless we don't have options. There's no.
We don't have options. Do we have?
So you want to start? We saw Aino losing an injury against the Ivorians, and we all know the story that he was the reason we lost in the final because he said it, that he was lost an injury, and we had no choice. I would put him in there. So we've seen
And he did not give his best.
an injured Aino. Now, if we are talking about an Aino who will be coming to the AFCON, we have barely 2 weeks to 2 weeks.
No,
to
but
the
we
AFCON.
still have Bruno.
When is
So
she?
Bruno is there.
We must think about how many crosses they've been able to do.
We are talking, but we still we have Osayi. We have Osayi Samuel is also there.
We have at
I mean,
least
he has proven himself.
8 to 9 presently in still.
defense.
I think what we should talk about more is Nigerian midfield. Because and we should not build this game with a particular player. You saw what's happening in the World Cup qualifying. When Osimhen was out, I don't
You
know.
feel like the building is by choice.
It's like
Automatically, it just happen. Just like Manchester City, Erling Haaland. Are you going to say you take away Erling Haaland? Manchester City can
In
do
Galatasaray,
It's just
in Galatasaray, what's happening? Osimhen is not there, not winning
Yeah,
games.
that's what
it's
you
not
get.
about building. It's
when
somebody
you
that came
when you
and
have a
took
player
authority.
who is
player like
performing.
him, yes. A player like him will give you less work to do. When you're pressing alongside him, you're going to be relaxed. Now, when he's not there, it's going to be difficult for you to adjust into that position instantly. So let's get back to the bonus, to the open contention. What we are looking at is our backline. The way people are sounding now, begin to see it from a different light. I feel like Benjamin Frederick will not be missed.
I don't. He will.
He
to an
will be
extent,
he will be
but
missed.
I don't think.
No,
he will.
let's get. Will he be missed?
He will.
Will he be missed? I feel like he'll be
I
missed.
don't think so.
Okay, you don't think he'll be missed,
Yes.
or you feel like he'll be missed, but it won't be much of a problem.
It's
Because
not
it can be
he
a
will be
problem,
missed
but
and
not
not
too
a
much of a
He
problem.
will be
He will be
missed.
missed, but not a problem.
Totally will be missed.
But not a problem.
So you feel like with Benjamin Frederick or not, we've still got
Of course.
18. So let's before we run it all off, because I feel like we've come to a conclusion that he will be missed in the team that will have options. We talked about up to 8 to 9 defenders who can come in every now and then and do the work. And he's one of them.
See, one thing you should understand that the time when Nigeria boast of defenders, where you had the likes of Aribo West and what is his name and Yobo, you know, presently we lack that quality.
Not entirely, because in the last AFCON, a defender from the Super Eagles was the best player of the tournament.
Yes.
So what happens is about style. It's about style. I don't think Kerichel is more concerned about defense as much as Pesero was. Pesero built his game more on defense. Defend well, and everything shall be added on to you. That's his kind of game. But I think Kerichel is caring so much about that wing player. He wants his wingers to be up and doing from the start to
And
finish.
even the crosses.
He wants to move. Let's talk about giving us goals upon taking that job. And I feel like that's what he's wanted to do from the onset. He wants to give us that attacking football. He wants the goals to come back, the good old days of the Finidi George of this world. He wants to get our wings working perfectly. Are there players you feel like they should be in the AFCON once they are fit? Maybe you have up to like 5 or 6 or 10. So let's just run it off with that.
I would like to be on the safer side and say any player that is fit should be called. Because if you want me to start to mention, if I want to mention that, I would say Simon should not be invited for the AFCON.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No.
It's going to be now. It will now be that I'm taking it personal. Ademola Lookman should not be invited. That is me taking it personal. But these are players that are exceptional. That we have seen what they can bring. But I am not the type of person that works with sentiment and emotions. When you are coming, if you are not 100% fit for me to play, you are leaving. So, but Nigerians will not want to hear this. This is Ademola Lookman that was there for us in the AFCON when the troops were down. He was there giving his 100%, and then because he's not in form, you are going to take him away. That's why my own, I will say, I'm not sentiment.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing sentiment into it. It is either you have 100% or nothing.
No.
So I'm not going to call any player and say no.
Selection to
should come and say,
selection to the team is not starting the game. And every player who is selected who won't play.
Yes,
25 players.
Why bring them when you don't have a plan of using them?
No.
Because as a coach, you don't come into a tournament and say, "Oh,
Some
just
players
come.
are
You are not going to.
Some
You're not going to
Some
play."
players are
No.
Some players are training materials.
What about situation that comes in? Okay, have we not seen situation whereby in the defense, or you bring in an aircon that is probably you feel that he will not perform, he's just letting just come and give a moral boost and all that, and then something happened to your two center defender, and you are left with nobody that aircon.
Do we have options ahead of?
Are you not going to bring him?
No, do we have options ahead of Lookman and Simon in the country? Please help me.
We have not searched enough.
What are we saying?
This is not fun.
I'm
That's what
saying
I'm saying.
2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. That
One thing,
this
one thing,
AFCON,
I want to show it 2 weeks.
What was the coach doing all this while? When you were playing qualifiers and all that, what were you doing? You're supposed to be searching. But you relaxed and yourself. But the Ademola Lookman was not informed this season. No, this season. That is Simon was not informed for me this season.
He's been scoring for Paris FC. And I still say,
He is not informed.
He's not informed. A player may not be informed in the ordinary match, but one thing you should understand that he may come to AFCON and prove everybody wrong. That's one thing you should understand.
That's why I'm not the coach.
For me,
that's
the
what-
coach.
That's why I'm not the coach.
what I'm trying to bring to your notice is that it's a team of 25 players. Lookman, for me, You must be in the play.
And do you also
must
know?
not
Do you also know that
or must not play every game.
we have an overage
Well,
player who is going to be called up?
Who is the overage player?
We have Ahmed Musa.
I mean, you said we're done and dusted.
No, he's going to be called up.
I'm
I just hope so.
Never. He's not.
I just hope so.
He's no longer playing.
Please let's not predict
Look at what
that.
I'm
He's
saying.
not a manager. He's not the manager of
See,
Canada. Let's relax.
There are players who are training materials. I will give a let's start example about Hilario at Chelsea. Hilario was a good goalkeeper, but not of the standard to be a starter in the team. But he was important. He got contract that even upon his retirement, he was given a contract to be a goalkeeper trainer. That is a training material. You don't add a training material to your squad in a tournament because you expect your goalkeepers to get injured and you get him. He's not a bad goalkeeper, but he's going to bring that competition. He's going to dive at it. You know, when you are a third choice goalkeeper, you know the tournament might never get to you.
Yes.
It's going to be rare before it gets to you. But during training, you give 100 like you're sure you'll be behind the sticks the next day. I know you're going to be. You're not second choice, but you're third choice.
So if something now eventually happen, because we should look at the possibilities. If
That's what I'm
something
saying.
now happen in the game, Nwabali is injured, Okoye is the second choice,
Good.
and he gets injured, and it's not over.
Yes, the person is not
So what
bad.
are you going
The
to
keeper
say?
is not bad because
He will
that's why I
not
said-
come because he's the training material.
no,
He
no,
shouldn't come.
No, I'm saying are there better goalkeepers ahead of this 3M? That's what you check. That's the question. Yes. Are there better wingers than Ademola Lookman and Simon?
Yes,
They come
yes.
in and please help us with some names.
You have to come to the league and check.
Coming to the team.
No,
Wait.
let's talk
That's why I talk about the best team.
Understand something.
That's why I
The
talk about
league.
Have you
the
seen
best league.
Enyimba
Where is
players?
Enyimba is
Wait.
11th.
Have you checked the most? Have you seen
I
Rangers?
saw the best team. Wait, the best team in the league.
Rivers United.
The best team in the league who is playing Champions League. They beat 3-0. Now,
The time when we had.
did you watch what happened to Remo, who are Nigerian champions? They couldn't even get into the group stages of the Champions League. And these are the players who are playing the league, the best players in the league. So stop bringing the. I know you might like the league, but there is no player. I repeat, no in the Nigerian professional football league who will keep Ademola Lookman even with one leg on the bench.
Of course, it's not possible.
Exactly. So that's why he must be on the plane to the AFCON.
Yeah.
But I
Of
think
course,
we might be discussing.
you said my opinion. I said that's why I'm not the coach.
That's what I'm saying.
But if my opinion, Ademola Lookman will not make my list.
I'm trying to say
And same thing, because I would
that
have
would be a very wrong list. He might make
That's why I'm not the coach. That's why I cannot. But I cannot teach.
Let's understand this. You are talking about the league, the Nigerian league. Yes? The league is not giving us what we want.
Nobody's going to come in, so we must go.
We are not proving what. You see, it's high time we tell ourselves the truth about the Nigerian league. A league that you hardly see an away team come to win.
That's in the past. Away teams win these days. But let me say, a league where the players are playing without even the VAR and then the VAR and the AFCON, how are you going to cope? So I feel like we need to understand that we need to measure up. And if we do not measure up, it will be a problem. I for one feel like Lookman is not in the best form. But I feel like I feel like we might come in the 70th or 75th minute of the game. We never can tell when you have a player like him in the team. I like what's happening in the goalkeeping department. If Nwabali is injured, Okoye will give 100 to clear that place. It's good. That's why I feel bad for what's happening in that defense line with Frederick. In the midfield, we do not have other options. That's why we are languishing. If we had options, creative wise, there is no creative player.
Now, I want to end with this. When Genechua came, was there options? When Genechua came, even in the defense, there was no options. There was no. That is the job of a coach. He went into scouting. Genechua that they were saying, no, he didn't watch the local football. He was going around watching local football and eventually went, to push this player. That is when we got to know about Akon. We got to know about our brother from Balogun. We got to know about these players. Even this Lookman that we're talking about, it was under Genechua. He went there to scout them out. So as a good coach, that is your job. You don't rely on materials. Now, look, it's just what is happening to Liverpool.
Let me
You rely on
let me answer.
No, I want to give an answer to that.
You cannot.
Wait, I want to give an answer.
Did Raw succeed in getting a creative midfielder from Super Eagles? No. You will scout what is available. Now, there have been creative midfield problem in the Super Eagles since after JJ.
Of course.
Now, did General succeed to get the replacement?
But we were having issues in the defense line. Let's
No,
be truthful.
you're not
And
understanding.
then he came because
It's not Raw that manufactured the players.
No,
Right now,
but
the players
how
are
many of us know about these players?
Always
Before, no, I didn't know about Balogun
Wait.
until I didn't know.
Understand one
I didn't know about
Let's
Balogun.
understand.
I know about Lukman because he was playing in the Premier League.
Yes,
But I didn't know him to be this fantastic until Ganacho brought him.
Did
We
they not
come to
make
see.
you fantastic?
No,
No, you did not.
he exposed it.
was
Yes,
very
he does.
eventful.
Understand something.
It's not in the
Understand
Africa.
something.
Is it not when he was playing for Nigeria that clubs begin to see, oh, there's something about him?
It's
No,
not.
that's what I feel.
That's
Will
what
he have won the AFCON if he was not playing for Nigeria?
No, he played for Nigeria because England did not call him.
And you
See,
know that
that's
was
what
not
I understand.
Yes.
Wait.
It's not like
Who
he
did the
did
job?
no,
Who did the job?
Not who did the job.
Abraham, why is he not playing for Nigeria?
Now, who did the job? It was Raw. Did Raw succeed in doing the job? His choice.
It's not about
Understand.
it is about how the coach approached the player and told
It's
him.
not how a coach approaches
It's about
player.
attention.
I didn't say that. We're not trying to get a job that most of the players that we are seeing now,
Presently,
we are scouted by Ghana. Most of the players.
Understand.
Because they
So
are
the coach is supposed to do a
You
job,
understand?
scout for players in
Wait,
case
understand
these
this.
people are not there.
I'm saying.
Was it Ademola Lukman that was playing
Wait,
when
yeah.
before?
I understand what you are
Get
saying.
my point.
Now we are now saying
Look what
Ademola
I'm saying.
Lukman.
Look what I'm saying.
I will say we will not get
General
other players.
approach them.
We will not
Surely
start.
There is
We will
no
not
search.
We will
They are not
search,
playing for
but-
Lagos because of General. That's what I want to understand.
See, we will
You
see.
need to understand.
He extended that hand
Now,
of fellowship.
yeah.
He extended the
See,
hand of
we
fellowship.
have creative midfielders who are Nigerians. Eberechi is Nigeria. If it was General who was coach of Super Eagles, he won't play for Nigeria because he's getting the English invitation. Now we have Olise, who is playing for France. Because he's getting the French invitation, he will not play for the Super Eagles.
Never.
If you like, hire Mourinho as the coach. Because there's a pension scheme in European football that does not exist in Africa. Now, who again? I'm talking about creativity in that midfield. I've called two of the most creative midfielders in the world at the moment. Olise and Eberechi is. Yeah, no, take it to the bank.
Understand?
One is doing magic right now
At Arsenal.
in Arsenal. The other one is Bayern Munich. And Arsenal, they are not conceding goals. They are playing very fantastic football going forward. And these two players are there. Where did they come from? Crystal Palace. And do you know, I saw a picture of Eberechi training with the Super Eagles
Yes.
the other day.
With
Just that the
the
friendly was cancelled. They will only come this way if they are not getting the signal they want from that way. Nobody who is in his right senses will choose the Super Eagles of Nigeria over the Three Lions of England.
And you think Gene Choi do not know about it?
Yeah,
Of course he
see,
knew.
now-
And then you now as a good coach, you are going to coach them. And then you now use them. Now you now use them, and now they are now becoming what people. I'm telling you, if Ademola Lukman, the way Ademola Lukman is performing now, don't you think England will have looked his direction?
Now, look at
They
why-
will. But understand this thing.
But it's because
Understand.
was he fantastic? Was he playing a very big,
Now,
fantastic
we don't have anybody who is better than him.
Nigeria?
Present.
At that time, yes.
No.
Now, do we have anybody better than Iwobi? You're making me believe, which is why I don't want to agree with you.
Understand.
I knew all of these players because I watch every game of football. I knew them. Now, I knew them as when Lukman played for the Super Eagles, he's as average as anything. In fact, in the Super Eagles, he was never going to start a game under General because we had a Victor Moses. There were players who played in that wing for the Super Eagles in that wing position even before the likes of Ademola Lukman and the rest came. But all the way, if we keep talking about it, it will never get to an end because we all our opinions will differ. But I think we've been able to establish the point that Benjamin Frederick is a miss for Nigeria, but will not be so much missed in his absence. So that is to say that Chiwadi is saying that he's still very sure that Super Eagles can go far and maybe win the next African Cup of Nations to win the fourth title to Nigeria after 2030.
That is if we have a dream.
Yes, we must hope
They had a game.
It will be coming. And so we wish Benjamin Frederick the quickest of recovery. He's just 20. I just believe that it will be a recurrent injury, that it will be something that he will handle well. I like the fact that he's not trying to force it. He'll be coming back even stronger. He's just 20. I feel like it will be a minute 10 years of it to describe it. So he can even give more being a defender.
I mean, the good thing I love about this whole thing is that he will be going to the World Cup in 2030 at the age of 24.
Somebody said hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
If we qualify.
That's why when we have a dream.
Because Mikel is not.
Maybe then he'll be the captain of the side.
Yeah, maybe because of his experience and all of that. But I think after one, you start looking for a goalkeeper again. But maybe Okoye will step because I think his age is beginning to come close to 30 now. And all of that. I think he's 28 around there. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your wonderful analysis. Don't forget that this program is proudly sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. It's www.maxbet.ng. We'll see you on the next one. Adios.